Guess I'm live. There it is. I'm live. Hey, YouTube, how we doing today? Looks like I got a couple people in the room even. So welcome to my Club Fed channel where we talk about federal prison stuff. Normally for the non-violent criminals, you know, the nice guys who go to prison, if there's such a thing. And non-violence, usually your drug crimes and your white-collar crimes, anything where you don't use a weapon or violence can get you into the lower security parts of federal prisons. There's federal prison camps, then there's low security prisons. Those are the two lower levels, and then you got two more higher. You got a medium, and you got a USP, otherwise known as penitentiary. That's a place I'd never ever want to go. And then there's the ADX Supermax, the most secure prison in the entire world. They call it the Alcatraz of the Rockies. I spent a lot of time there as an inmate, but not an inmate being held there. There's a difference. I worked there in their kitchen, and I want to go over some emails or comments I got earlier. There's a guy that says we don't actually work inside of the Supermax. He thinks we make their trays over at our camp and then they're put on a truck and shipped over there. No. They might do that in county jails and stuff and state prisons. We go inside of the Supermax, all the way in. We go through the security, the double fences, underground. We are inside the Supermax. We're all in that Supermax. We don't see the cells, but we go everywhere else there is. I probably met every officer that works at the ADX Supermax because we also feed them. There was a culinary school there, and the whole complex comes for lunch. I've met the warden at the ADX Supermax. I've met all the guards, all the medical staff, psychologists, everybody. I've met them all. I've served them their lunch, and they actually treat us camper inmates really, really nice, polite. Anyways. Even the warden, you got to watch what you say to him and stuff. But, I've been all the way in the soup every day from like 10 to 4. That was my shift. And then we go back to the camp. Who's on here? Let's see. I got Fahad. Hello, Fahad. Matthew's been texting me like, you going to do a live show? Man, I'm sorry, man. I've been working and things and but I'm doing it right now. Good to see you on, Sean. Is that mic plugged in now? Okay, Matt, it's plugged in and went bleep. I looked it up online and everything else. It says it's plug and play, and I don't know if it makes a difference. There's a front and a back, but, anyways, it looks like I know what I'm doing. But it doesn't have a driver. I've checked and double-checked. Okay, it's a real cheap. This mic costs $66 on Amazon, guys. But you get all this stuff with it, man. Even if it doesn't work, it's worth the $66 just for a channel. So, and I got this free from one of you guys, Larry McGee, who's now doing an 18-month sentence in Mendota, California. He's at the camp there. So he sent me this. He sent me a bunch of stuff that he's not using anymore because he's in prison. So thank you, Larry McGee. And Larry has been sending me emails. And he only got 3 months good time. 3 months halfway house time on an 18-month sentence. A lot of guys are getting 8 months and 7 months halfway house time. And Larry's asking me, what I do. And I'm all, it's up to your case manager and your counselor. Let me say hello to a few. Who else is on here? We got Albie. Albie says, going to be sentenced on Tuesday. Albie's going to be sentenced on Tuesday. All right, Albie, get a hold of me, man. I wish you luck, man. I hope you're prepared, Albie. Fahad says, it's been a while since I watched live. Been keeping up with all you have been up to, including the free phone giveaways. Great job. Oh, yeah, I started doing those YouTube shorts. They're 60-second deals. I'm just kind of trying to experiment with them. So, yeah, I did a little thing, Supermax shorts. I think that one's easy, a little 60 seconds. People always want to know about the Supermax. Albie says, thanks, Fahad. Fahad says, waiting to hear back about sentencing date since they added enhancements all of a sudden, and now the PSR officer has to rule on the objection. Wow. Okay. Yeah. The added enhancements. I don't like the sound of that, man. I hope they're not gun enhancements or anything like that. Enhancements usually are not good in the feds. Enhancements are good things in general, but not when it comes to your sentencing. So let's hope it's nothing serious, man. Nothing serious. So yeah. So back to this halfway house time. So I don't know if it's because the pandemic and stuff. So I've done a bunch of interviews, guys. I got like 20 video interviews on there. One of them, a guy named Jonathan. He's an Asian guy. He got the year and a day. He calls me he calls me, he writes, emails me, and he's getting out. He's got like 28 days left. Something. He's under 30 days now. He'll be out. They gave him on a year and a day. They gave him 5 months halfway house time. And he already had 2 months good time. So that's 7 months there on a year and a day since. So he's only had to do 5 months out of his year and a day. And Chris from Alabama, he got an 18-month sentence that gave him 3 months good time, which is down to 15. Then they gave him 8 months halfway house time. He's only doing 7 months out of a 18-month sentence. So now Larry McGee's got an 18-month sentence, and they only gave him 3 months halfway house time. Plus he has 3 months good time, so he gets 6 months. So he's got to do a year on the 18. The other guy's only got to do 7 months. That's a big difference. 7 months or a year in prison, and that's just because Chris is in Tagota, something. Alabama to go to. I could look it up on BOP, but I'll let you do that. Tagota, something tomato. It's a camp. It's in Alabama, and Larry's out here in California. So when I was there, we had 3 case managers. Your case manager is the person that handles your case. Then there's a counselor, but the counselor's more like the guy who runs the whole building. And every unit building. We had 2 buildings. Each building had about 200 inmates in it. Each building has 1 counselor. And at our place, one building had 2 case managers. The other one had 1 case manager. Then there's supposed to be a unit director in each one. There's a secretary in each one. There's an associate warden. There's a warden. A few other things I'm forgetting, but those are the ones you deal with all the time. And the counselor is not like you go in his office and tell him your problems, and that's not like a drug counselor or marriage counselor. No, this counselor is running the building. He's like more of the manager of the building, you might say. He really doesn't counsel you. If he counsels you, it's because he pulls you in the office because he saw that you're doing something that's disrupting his building. And he might counsel you on your behavior and your actions, but he's not there to help you. He's supposed to assign you jobs, and all the counselors I know, they'd give you the shittiest job that they have because they're told that there's a sanitation job that nobody wants, and it is what it is. It's cleaning sanitation pipes, and it's a nasty job. And there's a recycling job, and that's these guys who dig through trash and sort it out, and it's a nasty job. But guys like it because they get to bring stuff back, all this trash back that's been recycled that somehow slipped through all the cracks. They get some good stuff, but they'll give you these hard jobs doing yard work and landscaping and stuff like that. And it's better to find your own job first. Go get hired if you're going to prison when you first get there. You got a few weeks before you got to go to work. They're going to have you doing orientation and all that. So you got a little time to go find a job. So how do you do that? You want to work in an auto shop? You go over to the auto shop building. At least in the camp, you're allowed to do this. You can walk all over the complex. So you go to the auto shop and you ask, hey, who's in charge here? And there's a CO, and, you go up to him and, hey, Mr. Smith, I'm interested in working on cars. And he goes, yeah, well, I need a guy to change oil right now, and we have other jobs, and I got an opening. Or he says, yeah, well, listen, there's a waiting list. I don't need anybody right now. When I first got there, I walked up to I went into the chow hall and I told him that I've been working in restaurants, and do you need any cooks? He says, normally you got to work your way up to that, because I got an opening for a baker, right? If you want to be a baker, I got a guy who's leaving in like 4 days. And so he gave me some paperwork to sign, and he signed something, and he gave me a little interview, and he goes, you're hired. You could be our baker. And like they bake cakes and cornbread and, pastries in the morning and things like that. So I bring this paperwork over to the counselor. I got a job. And the counselor says, well, you haven't done orientation yet, and that's not going to be for 2 or 3 weeks. So I can't approve this job. Take it back to the guy over at Chow Hall and see if they'll hold the job for 2 or 3 weeks. I went back and he says, no, I can't hold it. I need a baker. And so I couldn't take the job. You know what I mean? But had I done my orientation, supposedly that counselor's supposed to give me a job. And I've even seen them turn people down besides. Well, I've already assigned you this job as cleaning the shithole. So that's what you're going to do. Some counselors are cool. Some are bad. It depends where you go. Then you got your case manager. Now, that's the guy that manages your case. He's going to send paperwork out to halfway house. He's going to sign you up for home confinement, right? He's the guy that does your 6-month review. If you have any earned time credits for that First Step Act that's turning out to be a worthless piece of the feds just they're not doing what they're supposed to do. The First Step Act was passed to let inmates, earn credits by programs and training and education, and use that to, get time off at home confinement or halfway house. And the feds just aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But anyways, your case manager decides all that. And they put in this paperwork, supposedly to a halfway house. And they decide whether you get 1 month halfway house, 12 months halfway house, 8 months halfway house. They're always going to tell you, well, the halfway house is full and that's all they got. You know what I mean? When I went to RDAP, you're guaranteed 6 months halfway house. Whether it's full or not, they have to give you it. Sometimes if the halfway house actually is totally full, they'll find the next closest available halfway house and send you there. And you don't always go where you want to go in a halfway house. I've seen guys like live in Fresno, California, had to do the one in San Francisco because there is no halfway house in Fresno. That's 300-mile drive away or something like that. They weren't allowed to have weekend passes to go home to Fresno because it's got to be within 100 miles. And they couldn't do home confinement because you got to be like within 100 miles of the halfway house. That's a whole another video. Let me see if I got some more questions on here. Matthew says you should do a cooking video, even if it's just a routine making coffee. Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing a cooking channel, but I'm not going to do prison cook. I'm going to tell you guys, okay? You guys know what a spread is? So it's the thing I first saw in jail. And they get these top ramen soups, And let's see if I can show you. I'd say top ramen soup, but it's one of these, right? Ramen noodles. All right. So they take this, they take a bunch of these things, they heat them up, and they get this sheet of plastic and they spread it out on the table. And then they take Slim Jims and beef jerky and cheese puffs and potato chips and pieces of cheese and whatever they can find. They put it all in there and they shake it all up, and then they spread it back out, and then they put it on their little bowls and they eat it. And I'm sorry, guys, shit, nasty as fuck. It looked. I seen guys they didn't have a knife in jail, so they got the long Slim Jim thing, and they're biting it and spitting pieces of it in there because they don't have a knife. It just disgusted me, man. I've never, ever, ever, ever had a spread. Ever in prison. No, never had a jailhouse burrito, prison burrito. None of that shit they make in the microwaves. All that fancy food you see on these prison videos. I've never, ever, ever, ever tried any of it. Ever. Now, I always worked in the kitchens, so we made our own food with a real frying pan or a real grill and, real ingredients that the COs would give us in the kitchen. And we made stuff like that, but I never ate that nasty. That shit looks nasty. I'm sorry, man. That shit got some nasty food going on in this. But this guy's eat it up like it's something else. Nope, never did it, man. Just too proud, maybe. I don't know. Been working in restaurants all my life. There's just no cleanliness about what they do. Nothing's. It's like grosses me out, man. Never had a spread. Never gonna. If I made it through county jails and prisons and never had a spread, I'm never having one. Let me see what else we got on here. Fahad says, had to sell a house and they are taking everything minus a small amount agreed to be given to the wife. Wow, that's messed up. House closes on Wednesday next week and wife filing for divorce. Damn, dude. My pre-sentencing officer said first 90 days everyone does kitchen duty. Well, they send a lot of times they'll send you to kitchen. They always need people in the kitchen, but they could send you to landscaping. That's another job they got, or maintenance, things like that. Half the people go to the kitchen, and you want that. Take that job. You're going to eat really good, but you're going to be washing dishes when you first get there, or wiping down tables and sweeping and mopping floors and scraping dirty trays, stuff like that. You're not going to get the good end of the kitchen job yet, but they will feed you good. And you only work 4 to 6 hours a day. And they take a lot of breaks, guys. And there's a lot of laughter and clowning around while they work in the kitchen, even with the guards. I'm telling you, these people try to make their job experience fun. We try to have fun in federal prison. You will find yourself laughing and having fun like you're not even in prison. And if that offends you, good. Because a lot of times people want a guy like you to come in that's new, and they clown around and they laugh and stuff, and they're waiting for you to crack and break in and actually fucking smile. Yeah, you're in prison. We're all in prison too. Get over it. Life goes on. And that day when you finally do crack that smile and you laugh with the other guys, now you're free. Okay? Don't let them take your sense of humor away when you go to prison, guys. Don't let them take that away from you. Okay, you hang out with the clowns and the funny guys and the humor, the guys you laugh. Hang out. I mean, that's something. A sense of humor in prison goes a long way, man. You want to hold on to your sanity? That's one way to do it. Let's see here. Yeah, man, Fahad, I'm sorry. Wife sleep, divorce. The wife taking the house, they're taking the wife, taking your money. Damn, dude, what's left, huh? Shit. And you're still going to turn yourself into prison. Man, yeah, and I don't know. You don't even know what you're getting sentenced to yet. Going to sentence on Tuesday. Fahad, man, I feel for you, man. You give me a call, man, if I can do anything. You know, after you get sentenced and stuff. Yeah. You know what I can do for you, man. Let's see. We got Eris. Is the prison food served at the camp bad? Not really. And so I've got like 8 people that I've done interviews with that are in prison now and have been writing me on the core links, the emails. I'll read you some of these here later on in this video. And I've read these to you before, and they all tell me, Sean, you're right. The food's not bad here. You know, I mean, there's certain days. Tonight's Friday. I think it was every other Friday. It was chicken fried rice night. If you got any chicken in your rice, it was good. Now, it depends who makes it, because the inmates are the cooks. And some inmates don't even care about herbs and spices. I don't even know how some of these guys get jobs as cooks. You know, because if you're a cook, you should know how to cook. And you're cooking for hundreds of people. But some of these guys are like running their little paisa crowd, you know, and they only work their way up to cook so they could steal chicken and steal onions and steal bell peppers and all this stuff they steal out of the kitchen every night, and then they resell it on the compound later that night. So I used to call it a BYOC night. I mean, bring your own chicken, because so we'd get our chicken fried rice. Me and the guys used to joke around. We digging in there and say, I got one piece of chicken, one little cube of chicken. Well, I got 2 over here. I got 2. I go, oh, you got the good tray. So there's certain nights, man. They actually should take that chicken. It was usually a breasted chicken, chicken breast, because we had to cook it. They ought to serve that chicken breast on the side, not mix it in with the fried rice. That way, the inmates get their piece of chicken. Whenever you go through the chow hall, there is a correctional officer standing there supervising when people hand you your food, so that nobody's messing with your tray, nobody's getting doubles here, and you know what I mean. But the chicken fried rice is all mixed. So when it comes to like hamburger day, roast beef day, yeah, they have a roast beef day twice a month, every other Sunday. A pretty good slice of roast beef, right? You know, and they sell plastic knives on commissary. They don't have plastic knives in the chow hall. They used to, but they're all gone. People kept them and stole them. But you can still buy a set of silverware on the commissary, plastic silverware, but it comes with a plastic knife. And so on roast beef Sundays, I would bring my plastic knife with me. And I would use their fork, but I would do in that way I could cut my roast beef. And it would be about maybe a 1/4 inch thick and maybe an 8 to 10 ounce piece of roast beef. But sometimes they'd have seconds, even on roast beef night. And they'd give you a baked potato, and they'd have butter, and they wouldn't have sour cream. But it wasn't butter either. It was margarine. Did they have? I think a couple times they did have sour cream with it. But anyways, you could have a baked potato with margarine. But then they would do like this they would do this chowder soup, like a corn chowder soup, but it was creamy, and we used to put that on the baked potato, and it turned out pretty good. And at camps, they have a salad bar, all you could eat. It ain't quite as good as Sizzler, but, you know, it's one pan. We'll have you got your salad bar with the sneeze guard. You go there, and so they actually have a soup and salad. All you can eat soup and salad. And the salad would be mixed with the carrots and the red cabbage, and the salad kind of mixed. Then they'll have cucumbers. They'll have actually tomatoes. They always dice the tomato. I don't know what that way people steal them. I don't know. But the cucumbers and the tomatoes were always mixed in the salad. But then they would have beets on the side. They would have more cucumbers on the side. I'm trying to think what else they would have. They always had rice, and they always had beans. Always had that extra. They had some kind of soup. The vegetable soup usually wasn't too bad because it was made with fresh vegetables. Or they have some kind of like I said, a corn chowder or maybe a tortilla soup, and all you could eat salad. And then they'd have leftovers from the day before out there, and you could eat all that. The food's not too bad, and they do seconds and they do thirds. Let me see here. Fahad says, thinking about pre-sentence surrender, but probation officer really trying to talk me out of it, but really may not have a choice without a wife or a home, 500 cash left, don't know what to do. Begging the attorney to get sentencing done as soon as possible. So you want to, thinking about pre-sentence surrender. So if you do, see, here's the thing, Fahad. If you self-surrender, you get -3 points off your offense level, which decides whether you go to a camp or a low security or medium or a penitentiary. So if you don't get to self-surrender, you don't get those 3 points. I guess if you surrender while you're on pretrial, I guess that is kind of surrendering. But I don't want you to lose those 3 points because you might end up at a low security or, God knows, a medium because you didn't self-surrender. If you go and get sentenced, just ask for, I know you want to get this over with, tell them 2 weeks. Can I have 2 weeks and I'll turn myself in? Okay, you want that. You don't want. Also, man, I'm gonna tell you this: if you surrender right now to pre-sentence and say just lock me up and sentence me, and I'll take it from there, you're gonna have a 2-3 months of living hell. Okay, you're gonna have to wait for. You're gonna be in some kind of downtown detention center, or county jail / federal jail, right? Where you don't get out of your cell, but an hour a day to shower. And then you're going to wait for this bus to come and get you in about a month. The bus comes maybe once a month, and it's going to take you to the airport, and they're going to shackle you on the Con Air, all right? And then you're going to be, you can't use the bathroom for like 18 hours while you're on, it's living hell. They're going to shackle you up on Con Air. They're going to fly you to Oklahoma City, and they're going to put you in this pit, man. Right now with the quarantine going on, the COVID-19 and stuff, they're going to throw you in the shoe for like another month before they work on your designation, because it takes the feds, it's taking them, I don't even know if 2 weeks is enough time for them to decide where, once you get sentenced, now they have to, assign you a designation. That takes them at least a month. I mean, you're going to be in Oklahoma City, man, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, man, in solitary confinement in the shoe, right? You're not going to get commissary in there. You're not going to get the food's going to be nasty as fuck. Not what I was talking about. No, that food in Oklahoma City is a shithole. I mean, you're going to go through 2-3 months of just living hell because you wanted to surrender now. You don't want to go through that, man. So I suggest once you get sentenced, you ask the judge, can I self-surrender as soon as possible, right? He might say 2 weeks, but he's probably going to say at least a month because they need that much time. Then you turn yourself into the prison on your own. You don't have to go through being shackled and thrown in the shoe and all that stuff. I mean, they have the 2-week quarantine when you get there, but it's nothing like what you're going to go through in Oklahoma City, man. You do not want to do that. You do not want to do that. See, we got here Khalil Warner. What's the most serious charge you've seen from someone at a camp? Big amounts of cocaine, heroin, things like that, because everybody's nonviolent, you know what I mean? I've seen got a guy driving an 18-wheeler truck, and it was half full of cocaine. I don't know how many hundreds of pounds and stuff. Guy had gotten... Well, we have guys that, done 20 years, but they've worked their way down, and now they're out of camp. So but nobody there for murder or assault or violence or, they lots of gun charges, but they didn't use the gun in the crime. You know what I mean? So ours are, you might find a guy who robbed a bank for, $2 billion, but he did it on his computer. You know what I mean? With Bitcoin or something like that. But, so we don't get the hardcore types in a camp. Yeah, see, like, guys, I got no tattoos. I mean, you look at me in the street, you can't tell I've been to prison. And I don't think I have that hardcore prison attitude, man. I see these other guys. I don't know if they go in like that or they come out like that. There's some angry people going to prison, man, but they're all in those penitentiaries. And, there's just not people like that at a camp. There are guys who work their way down from the penitentiary, and they're pretty pissed off when they get to the camp because we don't have their politics. We don't have no prison code. We don't have no rules. We don't ask for paperwork. You know what I mean? We don't have gangs to join and cars, and we don't have all that at a camp. We're just guys trying to do our time and go home, and the guys who come from the penitentiaries, they hate that, man. They usually just ignore you. You can tell who they are. I always know who they are. And there might be 10, 20% of the population there as people came from the penitentiaries and mediums and worked their way down. But, man, they got to outdate. They're finally going home in like 5 more years. But it kills them. It kills them that there's no prison politics here. There's no code of ethics and prison code. Nobody. They hate that. Most of them wouldn't talk to me. They ignore you, man. They ignore you. I've had a few guys after a while. I've been there a year or two. They tell me, I hate this, Sean. I hate this, man. I'd rather be. You guys don't know how to run a prison. You get just open politics. People do what they want. There's no law and order here. No car, no gang. They hated that, man. I said, well, then go back to the penitentiary. Well, it's not safe there. It's dangerous. Well, then shut the fuck up. Which one do you want, man? You want day? You ain't gonna get it, man. Guys used to tell me that they hate the people at the camp because we get to sleep during the day. And I go, what do you mean guys can't sleep during the day? No, in a penitentiary, if they take a nap during the day, somebody will shake them. And apparently the cell doors are open all day. They can't unlock their door. They don't have their own key, right? So yeah, if they sleep during the day, they're afraid somebody will come up there and stab them in the back while they're sleeping. And I guess that's a real thing. They can't take a nap whenever we want. And, that's a luxury, I guess. That's a luxury. Let's see what we got going on here. So I'm going to read some of these emails I got here. Not comments. I know you guys can't see them. Let me run down here. Stan Cormie's always sending me stuff. Thanks, Stan. He says, don't forget to take a towel and shake when taking a shower in prison. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that in the camp, man. Carl Muncie says, hey, Sean, how's it going? Just saw a new video. Want to say hi. Hey, Carl. Here's one, the wild Ann. Is there like a limit on how much you can spend per comms day? I guess commissary day. Yeah, $360 a month, $180 every 2 weeks, or one. You could spend 180 all at once, but then next week you can't order because that was your limit. So it's $360 for the month, and the most you could do on one day is 180. Let's see here. Desira Humphrey. When I finally got released from USP Florence, a driver from the camp dropped me off at the Pueblo bus station. Damn, sounds nice there. I was at the main max facilities only. Oh, this person, Humphrey, Desert. So I don't know what happened to their email. I don't know if they took it off, but they wrote me saying they watched my job at the Supermax, and they said I was a liar, that inmates don't work in the Supermax. We only make their food trays from another location, and then they're shipped over there in a truck. Like I started off, bullshit. We worked all the way inside of the UPS, all the way inside of that Supermax. Yeah, we get driven over there by another inmate. And we stand outside the gate, and the officers come out. They call our names. They pat us down. One fence opens. We go in through that one fence, and then we go through a metal detector. Then we wait for the second fence to open. We go through that. Then there's a third fence, and then we go into the Supermax. We go through the warehouse back door where all the supplies and food and everything comes in for the whole facility. We go down this hallway, and then there's our kitchen area. All right, there's even the break room for all the guards. I spent a lot of time in that break room because that's where we serve them their food and stuff. But yeah, there's a little outside yard for the guards and for us camper inmates. At one time, inmates could smoke cigarettes out there, but now you can't smoke in the feds. Although even in the Supermax, some of those guards would leave their cigarette butts, and us inmates on our breaks, we could. Anyway, another story. I don't want to get myself. Well, I'm not in prison. I'm not going to get in trouble. But yeah, we were all the way inside of the Supermax every day. I worked from like 10 to 4, 10 to 6. Sometimes we stayed late. There was maintenance guys from the camp that came over that had a work cart full of tools, and I used to trip, but they always had a correctional officer guy with them. But he seemed friendly with the guys, and they would go fix the showers and the toilets and all that stuff inside of the cells. Of course, they're going to, like, if the Unabomber's got a broken toilet, they're going to take him out of his cell and put him in some holding place while the camper inmate goes and fixes his toilet. You're not going to meet the guy. No, we don't even get to see the inmates. We could see their feet because in the break room, there was a big glass hallway, and it was kind of a stained glass, but the first 3 feet was clear, and I could see, I'd see like 10 sets of legs, because you'd have the one inmate, and then they always have 4 guards, 2 in front and 2 behind them, and they're shackled whenever those inmates got to go to medical or get a visit or whatever they have purpose to, go to the outside for an hour or whatever. Whenever they were escorted out of their cell, 4 guards escort them in complete shackles. But yes, we did inside. See what else I got here. Albie says, please hit the like button for Sean for what he does. Oh, thanks, Albie. It says, is there a limit in how much you can have on your books? I know it's $360 a month, but can someone put like $3K on my books every month? I heard there's no limit. Now, I knew a guy had he started with $10,000 on his books, and he showed me one day he still had like $7,000 left, but he didn't have any restitution. So if you owe them money, you don't want to put that on your books because they're going to start deducting your restitution from your book. You got to pay. Basically, you're going to pay about 25% of whatever's on your books every month for any restitution. It's not going to kick in for about a year until you've been there about a year. But yeah, so when somebody would send me $100, $25 of that would go towards my restitution, and I got a big restitution. That $25 ain't going to make a difference. But yeah, so be careful. But I've heard you can put as much on much money as you want. 10,000 is the most I've ever heard, but guys get $1,000 put on there every month, things like that. See, you can spend $360 on commissary, but the emails cost you 10 cents a minute to read it and 10 cents a minute to send it. And so that doesn't come out of your commissary money, but it comes off your books. Okay. And then if you want a MP3 and you want to buy music, it's like $2 a song. That comes out of your account. That doesn't come, so there are other things you're going to spend money on besides your commissary. Said, damn, thanks for letting me know about restitution. I will owe for the rest of my life. Yeah, I have to pay $100 a month. My restitution is $1.7 million. Now, I never had that money. They said that's damages I caused. If you guys don't know, I did false income tax returns for, started off just doing it for a couple friends, and they told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends. I charged them 20% of their refund. So, and I'd get guys back like $5,000, and I'd take $1,000. So I took 20%. And I had other people helping me and all that. So but the government wants all that money back. So and the interest alone, that $100 won't even pay the interest. That they want 30% interest compounded monthly, or it'll never get paid. I don't even know. It's probably $1 million interest added to it already by now. Yeah, so be careful on your restitution. So what's going on here? 6:36. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I got a job offer for reentry stuff, for prison stuff. So it's in New Mexico, working for a nonprofit called Wings for Life. I did an interview with a lady named AnnEdenfield. It's on one of my videos, and she does this Wings for Life International. She helps families of inmates. While you're locked up in your family's home, she helps the families. And she also has programs helping those inmates when they get out of prison. She's mainly dealing with state prisons, but she's been on my show. I've been on her show. She has a show too. And her show, she works with departments of corrections and probation department, even the federal probation department. So my part's going to be coming. She wants me to keep doing my video channel and all that. As a matter of fact, and there's another guy named Tom Tom K. I won't say his last name yet. After Tuesday, Tom will finish his 3 years probation. Me and Tom did time together. Tom volunteers for Wings for Life. And so me and Tom and Ann, anyways, there's this grant money that she's got for these programs. She wants me to come out there and help do reentry stuff and training guys and finding them work when they get out of prison. I told her, yeah. And she's already called my probation officer. She called him. And she's talked to federal probation in New Mexico, and they're saying, yes, he can come. And my probation officer said, yes, he can come, but everything's got to be documented. Got to have the job proposal on paper, how much I'm going to get paid, on an address, working on the address. So I'm meeting people in New Mexico, and I met a guy that does housing for inmates named Stanley, and I talked to him. He's got this fourplex. And anyways, everything's in the works, and it's probably going to be a couple months, but I think it looks like I'm moving to New Mexico. And here's the thing. I'm going to keep doing these videos, and I get to do more of them. And me and Tom are working on, with Ann, grant money so we can do prison consulting for free, make a nonprofit and have the grant pay, and we can do the services that all those prison consultants do that I do now for free anyways. But now we can actually have money to just, dedicate to you guys for free, no charge ever, and put all those prison consultants out of business. No, because you can come to us for free. So do this nonprofit. So we're working on that. I mean, right now when you guys call me, I got in my description underneath, there's on all my videos, but the Wings International, there's a whole bunch of links for Wings International. If you go into prison and have your family contact Wings International, they'll help your family while you're doing time. They'll help you too, but it started off to help the family. But I've got links under there, on, how to write character references to the judge, and your personal narrative, and get an RDAP and programs. I got all kinds of resources underneath every one of my video, and prison consultants use those same things that I got, but they're going to charge you $10,000. Mine are all free down below. But if we get this grant and I get down in New Mexico, we can start doing more consulting stuff for you guys. We can send you out packages. Me and Tom and probably need some more people, but we can do a real complete full package service that the prison goods loans do for free and not charge you guys anything, because we're gonna work nonprofit, do it that way. How you like me now, Justin Papperny? Don't call that Justin. Take your money. Guy will charge you 10 grand for one phone call. Stay away from him. He's ripped off 10 people I know while I was in prison. Don't, you know what I mean? The only prison consultant I know that I would call would be Walt Pavlo or RDAP Dan, because they helped me for free, and I never had money to hire a prison consultant. But anyways, we're in the works of making it a nonprofit, and that way services will be free. We'll put a change in this whole industry, and if we get the grant, other people get the grant, and then you shouldn't have to pay for these services. You get a court-appointed attorney, you should get a court-appointed prison consultant. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to pay for stuff like that. So that's why I don't charge. And I don't do anything. I don't do what, I'm not a prison consultant, but I give you a lot of information they do for free, and I don't want to charge anybody. You know what I mean? So, if you shoot me a $5 super chat or something, that's fine. But I'm not asking 10 grand for a phone call like Justin Papperny. So stay away from that guy. So let's see. Any more questions? Let's see. Fahad says, got a few here. Says, can you move to another state after release but still on probation? Yes, I'm about to do that, Fahad, like I said. But I got to have permission from my state, the federal probation department, and my federal probation office, and then the state I'm going to move to. And both sides got to agree. And you can only do it for family or a job or maybe a medical reason. You can't just do it because, I think I want to try out Idaho. Can I? Yeah, I just want to go there. You got to have a reason why. And in my case, it's a job. He has another question. And sorry if I'm asking too many. No, you're not asking too many questions, Fahad. Matter of fact, Fahad, you're the only one asking questions. So I'll keep answering your questions for now. Yes, Fahad says, I plan to be self-employed after release. Don't know if that's even possible. It's possible when you get on probation, but you're not going to be able to do that in the halfway house, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're on home confinement, because halfway house or home confinement, you are still property of the Bureau of Prisons. You're still their property. You're still an inmate. Okay, even though you're on home confinement, you're still in prison. It's still part of your sentence. Now, when that ends and you start your 3 years probation, most people get 3 years probation. Then you can be self-employed. But that's got to be approved by your probation officer. So, if you did real estate and you went to prison for real estate fraud, they're not going to let you come out and do more real estate. You know what I mean? We got a lot of CPAs that can't be CPAs anymore. Doctors lose their doctor's license when they get when they go to federal prison. It's just automatically taken away from them. And another thing, if you're a doctor and you're in federal prison, you're not allowed to call yourself a doctor while you're there. They'll give you a shot. They really will. You can't be called doctor. You lose that privilege. And they will tell you, don't let us hear anybody calling you doctor, right? It's that bad. They take it serious. You are not allowed to be called a doctor while you are in prison if you were a doctor. That's taken. They don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that. Oh, I'm going to use that on my little shorts. Little facts like that people don't know about. Matthew says, that's great stuff, Sean. Congrats. Oh, you're welcome. You don't want to. You're welcome. Thanks, Matt. Fahad says, property of BOP. That just sounds wrong in so many ways. Yes, slavery exists, buddy. They use the inmates at the camps as free slave labor to go work at the other prisons, because we have certain trusted rights or something, or we're kind of like we're the trusted inmates, like in the slave days, they have the foremans of the slaves. We're actually slaves too, and they used to call them traders or whatever. So I think in the eyes of an inmate from the penitentiary, the camper who goes to work at his prison. He looked out the window and he's a camper out there pulling weeds and working around his prison, and he can't do it. I think we're traitors to them or something. They look at it like that, but I don't know. Alan says, "Hey Sean, I got 10 days left on federal probation. Been on it for 6 years. Did 8 years in the Fed." Wow, you were on federal probation for 6 years. That's an odd number. I've heard of 5 years. I've heard of 1 year. I got 3, and you did 8 years in the Fed. They gave you 6 years. But anyways, 10 days left. Be careful now. I'm hearing my buddy Tom. He's getting off Tuesday, and he's going, "I'm worried." All of a sudden, there's a couple stories out there. There was a guy that opened up a couple lines of credit. He applied for some credit cards, and I guess he bought a car for his son that was going to college, but he didn't ask permission, and he had 30 days left off on probation, and now he's back in prison. They violated him. They gave him 18 months for it or something. So yeah, be careful, Alan. But congrats, man. 10 days left. That's beautiful. Love to hear it. Fahad says, "Can you look at the question regarding care package above?" Oh, let me see. I missed something. Let me see. Care package above. I will look at. Oh, here we go. Also, have you ever heard of pre-approved care package with TVs, tablets, and candles, etc.? Hell, I saw one with the burger. There's lots of care packages like that come to the camp. They're not coming from. They're dropped on the side of the road. So there's no fences in the camp. This is not news, guys. I'm not giving up secrets. There's no fence at a camp. There's a road like 100 feet away in most camps, right? So people have their wife or their girlfriend or whoever, their friend, drop off bags on the side of the road. Then at night, usually at night, sometimes in the day, 3 a.m, some inmate will run out of the building because they don't lock the doors at night either. They're not allowed to. He'll run out the building of the road. He'll bring that back. I seen them come back with a bag, and there was Popeye's chicken in the bag. Yeah, but I wouldn't want it. You get TV. There's nowhere to hide the TV or use it in the feds. Now in the county jails, they have care packages you can buy on. You go to in the county prisons. I mean, they get their own TV. In the feds, you don't get your own TV. You don't get state prisons. You get your own cell and your own TV. But not in the feds. You normally got to share a cubicle. Sometimes you don't have a roommate because it's empty. The camp's not full. But yeah, you can't have your own TV. That's only in TV rooms. So I don't know where you'd put the TV. Now there's a lot of cell phones in those camps, and people watch TV on them. They hide their cell phones and stuff. And you said candles. Why would the fuck would you want a candle? In prison, what do you get a tablecloth too and a tablet? Yeah. Well, any kind of. I've never seen laptops, and I used to wonder, these guys get cell phones in there. Why don't they get a laptop? It's just too hard to hide. But in the state prisons, yeah, they have care packages. They used to be able to get like a 35-pound package sent 4 times a year, I believe, in state prisons. And they had a list of approved items that they could put in there. Now they stopped all that, and they do let them have care package, but they go to a special website that's connected with the prison, and they order off a catalog on the website. And there's TVs and radios and snacks and things like that on there, and that's how that. But the feds don't let you do that. The only kind of things you can get mailed in are like magazines and newspapers and books and stuff. You can get some hobby items sent to you, but you got to go through the correction department. You got to go to the hobby center. There's there's a whole department called recreation, which includes music, which includes hobbies, which includes all your sports, baseball, basketball, your gym, all that. Anyways, you go see that correctional officer. And the hobby craft room, they have a special catalog. You can order stuff for making for painting and doing arts and crafts and stuff like that. There's a special catalog for that. But no. So the answer is no. You can't officially order that stuff, but You got the money in a camp. Yeah, they take orders. Guy got his Popeye's chicken. It was still even warm, I heard. But they had a microwave. Let's see. Alan says, I'm nervous about it too, bro. Yeah, Alan, 10 days left, though, man. Just don't do, man. Just be perfect angel. Yeah, don't stay clean for 10 days. They're going to come up, Alan, they're going to come up with that pea cup, that probably at midnight, they might knock on your door with that pea cup. Just be prepared, man. Hold off. Don't smoke any pot or have a drink or anything if you can for 10 days, man. And then go whatever you want to do. Fahad says, no, I'm talking about a real care package company. Supposedly delivering cabbage. I will find the link. Yeah, stay away. I did a whole video on that. There's scams out there, Fahad. Those packages are scams. There are care packages for state prisons, and you're going to go through the state prison website to order them. There's scams out there. These are fake. These are fake companies. I did a video. Look on my videos. These are fake scams. They'll say that you order all this stuff and want you to pay with a Bitcoin or want you to use a check. Or, I mean, even the scam, they're fake, okay? Nobody gets to order that stuff in the feds ever. There's no care packages in the feds. So stay away from those companies. Those are scam companies. I'm telling you, Fahad. I did a video on them, and I've seen the websites. I've looked at them. They're fake websites. Matthew says, how is Delta affecting prison now? More quarantine, any releases? It's still fucked up there, Matt. The Delta just make it prolonging things. If they were going to start opening up programs, and now they're not because of the Delta. It's just making things longer. It's because I hear they wanted to open everything back up. Some prisons have visiting, some don't. Some have visiting behind plexiglass. Some are just doing video phone visiting. Most of the programs aren't even open. RDAPs are open, and that's kind of it, really, from what I'm hearing. Fahad says, "I believe you, bro. How do they get away with that? And we get years and years. I know. Well, they're offshore. They're in another country, probably." And nobody's taking the time to go after them. Yeah, are these scam companies? How do they get away with it? I get texts on my phone every day. My student loan, and they want this money, and I don't have a student loan. They call me up. They say my auto policy is my car policy is renewed and whatever. And like I bought a used car. I don't even have a you guys get the scams. I have to have this scam remover thing on scam scanner. I don't know. It stops the scammers, spam. You know what I mean? You guys get these fake calls all the time. And these guys are getting away with it. I should have done. That's what I should have done instead. No, I shouldn't have done that. But I knew a couple guys in federal prison that did scams, and finally they got caught. I talked to a couple guys that did that. Let's see. Also, not candles, candies. Oh, candies. Oh, you can get all the candy you want in prison, man. Oh, yeah, I mean, you can't get your favorites, but there's lots of candy on the commissary. And, yeah. Let's see. Let me see. I'll read some more comments here. All right, here's a bad comment somebody sent me. It looks like I lost a subscriber. I'm not going to read all. I get bad comments. So this is from Gene McKee. It says, wow, man, you had no other topics. You are falling off, man. You didn't answer the phone anymore. You don't make consistent videos. And here you are joking about dropping the soap and laughing. And you really have dudes scared for their life watching your channel. Yeah, I'm going to unsubscribe to this channel. Well, wow. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I can't please all the people all the time. And I've made like 120 videos. And yeah, so I try to do a little humor one about dropping the soap. This person got offended. I don't know if you saw it. It was little clips from movies about people dropping the soap in prison. And I was trying to tell you don't have to worry. But anyways, yeah. So I'm losing it. Oh, well, losing. This channel's not that big anyways, guys, and I'm not really, what are you going to do? I lost a subscriber. I think I talked to her on the phone. It was Genia, but she said I don't answer my phone anymore, but I don't remember her calling. But I usually always return people's calls. But anyways, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry you feel that way. Fahad says, hell no, you actually keep it real and actually remove fear for many. Thank you, Fahad. Oh, Matthew says you should do an interview with a USP YouTuber. I've reached out to like some of these guys, Larry Lawton, 23-1, Fresh Out. I've sent them, but these guys have like, I don't know, thousands of subscribers. Larry Lawton's got over 1 million, and I've reached out to a whole bunch of those guys because I watch all their videos, and nobody has sent me anything back. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd like to talk to them. Two different worlds, man. Two different worlds. And I know some guys who have been to the penitentiary. I know them from the recovery world, from like my AA meetings and stuff. And they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to come on. And no, I don't. They don't want to relive that. I don't know. But eventually I'll get somebody like that. Troy says, can you put your hands on a federal correct officer? Can you put your hands on a federal correctional officer? No, you're not allowed to touch them, shake hands, or nothing. Is that what you're talking about while you're in there? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can I? Why would I want to, for one? I'm not sure the question. Can you put your hands on a federal correct officer? I mean, I can physically. Yeah, I could walk up to one and put my hands on them. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You're not allowed to. I know if you put your hands on an officer while I was in prison, they'll hit that panic button, and 20 officers will come, and they're going to knock you to the ground, and they're going to beat the hell out of you, and they're going to throw you in the shoe. I know that happens if you put your hands on a federal correctional officer, if that's what you're talking about. So I wouldn't do it. Can you? Yeah, you have the possibility to walk up to them and do that, but you're going to be a dead man afterwards. Your life's over in prison after that, man. I wouldn't do it. I guess that's what you're asking. Fahad says, put your hands on an officer and find out how a real good beatdown feels like. Exactly. So, look, I've never really seen people get beat up too bad at a camp. I've seen them get some black eyes and pretty bad because they owed money. But you want to see a real beatdown in the prison, go touch one of the correctional officers. You want to see an inmate get beat up. Yeah, go put your hand on a correctional officer. Oh, do it to a female one if you're a man. It's even worse. Yeah, they're going to beat you so bad. I'm telling you, they just are. And even the other inmates aren't. Nobody's going to help you. And you're not coming back to a camp either. You'll probably spend the rest of your sentence in a shoe somewhere. They're going to transfer you here, and you're going to have this paperwork on you now that the officers see. And, yeah, you don't want that, man. Don't do that. Do not do that. But as far as putting your hands, like you're not supposed to shake their hand or anything or touch them in any way. Now, when my last day of prison, officers came up to me and shook my hand. Even a couple of them gave me some hugs. Some of the ladies, real quick hug, like friendly way. And they told me, we don't want to see you back here and stuff. That kind of thing happens. And they're not supposed to do that, but they do. Because they treat the campers a little better. We're almost citizens in their mind. Almost citizens. But they feel for us. I'll see. Let's read some more comments here. Oh, yeah, Fed Phoenix is out there. Have you guys seen her channel? She says... she's asked, this one's she's talking to Michael. Do you remember at what point you found out your inmate number? My plea hearing is a couple days. Anyways, she's got a channel called Fed Phoenix. She's about to get sentenced, and she's trying to put out. She's got some good, useful information, guys. Check out her channel. Yeah. Where am I? I know you guys can't see these in these comments. I'm switching over my other screen, but I don't want to pay the $30 a month software where I can, when I go live, I can also put things on my screen. So Zoom was letting me do it for $15 a month, but it has like a 20-second delay. So I don't like that. And there's all the other softwares like $30 a month. I'm a working guy. I'm trying to pay my rent and stuff, and I'm just gonna do it this way. But when I make my recorded videos, then I can show things on the screen, and that doesn't cost me anything. So I'm trying to use all free editing software, guys. So it is what it is. If I ever, get this channel big enough where there's good revenue, right now I'm probably getting $30 a month from YouTube for the commercials. So every 3 months, you got to have $100. You got to make at least $100 for YouTube to send you a check. So about every 3 months, I get $100 from YouTube for the commercials. I've only been doing this like 9 months. So I've made like $300 on YouTube in 9 months. But if I ever, those big guys that have the USP, the Wes Watsons, the Larry Laughtons, the 23-and-1, those guys are making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month for their for their YouTube videos from the commercials. But they got, 100,000, 500,000 subscribers. I got 1,500. I got a long way to go. And if I ever get like that, I'm going to have all the fancy software. Let's see. Questions here. Fahad says, hell no, you actually keep over. I read that. Keep it real and actually remove fear for. Fahad says, almost human. Troy says, what I meant was, can you physically punch an officer? No, you can't, man. Can't you might have the chance to do it, because they trust you. Well, you can walk up to an officer and they're not paying attention and punch them, and I'm telling you, that's the last time you're ever going to punch an officer. Fahad says, Troy, I wouldn't even talk about it, yet alone do it. Yeah. So what's up with this, Troy? Troy, you got to, are you, what do you got? What's the beef with the officers you got going, man? I know a lot of people don't like them, but in a federal prison camp, they actually treated us pretty solid, man. I got to tell you, but I know in the USP, they treat those guys like dirt. They treat them like dirt. I know this. MCSE 9073 says, good to see y'all. I know you. I remember that I can't remember what your name was, but it's MS and then I can't say that. Anyways, guys, it's been an hour. And is any more questions? Because I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, I got a guy named Herman Delgado. Okay, we're doing an interview tomorrow at 11, and he's out of New Mexico. He runs a program called Strengths so he hires inmates when they get out of prison, and he helps them out with housing and gives them a job, and they actually have the job before they get out of prison. And so it's all out of New Mexico, but he's trying to expand. But we got it set up for 11 o'clock tomorrow, and then I got it, upload it to YouTube. They're going to go on Zoom. But his name's Herman Delgado, so watch for that video tomorrow. He's got, helping out inmates too. So, anyways, Matt says, "What's for dinner?" Hey Matt, I'm going over to Little Caesars. I'm getting the $6 pizza, man. I don't feel like cooking. Yep. Oh, my name is Barry. Hey, Barry. Good to see you. And Fahad says, suggesting do videos about famous people in camps, present or past. Okay. All right. I met people that are famous in the real estate world or, that kind of thing in the business world. But I'll work on that. It sounds good. All right, guys, I'm going to call tonight. I appreciate you guys watching. I got 11 people on there and 11 thumbs up. That's perfect. Love it, guys. So subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you during the week. All right, guys. Thanks.